Hey, it's Kaufman is Alive. Today I'm going to be talking about AEW Forbidden Door 2025 from the O2 Arena in London, England. This has become an annual event for AEW where they combine forces with other professional wrestling organizations around the globe. This year they're partnering with CMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Stardom. So I'm going to be going over the card and giving you my thoughts and predictions. First off, we got Swerve Strickland challenging Kazuchika Okada for the Unified title. This is a no interference 20-minute time limit match, as are the rules for the AEW Unified Championship. I think this has been an okay build for this match. I do like the matchup, but I don't see Swerve winning the title here. I think that would be a mistake, even though I think Swerve really needs a win and should beat Okada. I don't feel like this is the right time for Okada to lose the title. He's held it for so long, nearly a year, I think, maybe even longer. So I would like to see a better build-up to Okada losing that title. And he just unified that belt with the international title that Kenny Omega held previously. So I think it's a little too early for Okada to lose the title to Swerve. I'd like to see a multi-month program between these two, but that's not the type of thing that generally happens in AEW, so we shall see. But I see Okada retaining. Then we've got Adam Copeland and Christian Cage reuniting for the first time in probably over a decade, I would imagine. Definitely, they have never teamed up in AEW, so this will be a first against a team that I feel like is kind of an underwhelming first opponent for Cope and Christian, even though this has been a storyline that has been built up for well over a year between the former Patriarchy, now known as the Matriarchy, versus Christian Cage. We saw Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne turn on Christian at All In, and they got cheered for it. There was a huge pop. And it's been kind of a confusing storyline because now they've become the bad guys, and Christian, aligning himself with Copeland, are sort of the baby faces, even though Christian Cage is still playing that asshole character, with Edge even referring to him as his asshole. Excuse me, not Edge, Cope. But I see, obviously, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage winning this match and moving on to face FTR probably next month, or maybe at All Out for the titles. That'll lead me to the tag team title match, another three-way this month. The Hurt Syndicate defending against BoDleasons and FTR, the co-winners, I guess you might say, of the tag team tournament, where they went to a draw in the final round. I think this is probably the end of the Hurt Syndicate's run as tag team champions. I think both Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley could do just as well, if not better, as single superstars in AEW. They could be main eventers, in my opinion, both of them. So I would see a title change here. Now the question is, who is going to win the title? I would go for the surprise of BoDleasons, Brody King, and Bandito winning the tag team titles here. FTR has already held it before. I feel like it'd be a really big surprise and a great shock for the crowd, and they'd get a huge pop if BoDleasons would win the tag titles here, and I think Brody King deserves it. He's been doing a phenomenal job, and he's been on a great run recently in AEW, and so has his partner Bandito. He's, as Bryan Danielson said this past week on Dynamite, he might be the best wrestler of the year. So I could definitely see them winning the tag titles off the Hurt Syndicate here and pinning FTR to do so, most likely. Then we got Zack Sabre Jr. defending the IWGP World title against Nigel McGuinness. This is two Brits going at it. I think it's just kind of a special match for Nigel, kind of a favor to him. He's not a full-time wrestler, and I don't know if he's ever faced Zack Sabre Jr. before, so He's not a wrestler in New Japan or anything like that. He has no record in New Japan. I don't like the idea of a guy from another promotion who's not a regular wrestler getting a title shot like this in another promotion. But it is what it is. Obviously, I don't see Nigel McGuinness winning this matchup, but it will probably be a technical spectacle. So I'm looking forward to it. Then we got Kyle Fletcher defending the TNT Championship against Hiromu Takahashi. I think this could steal the show. It could be a sleeper match. Kyle Fletcher is an incredible athlete and has been on a great run on his own. I just hope both of these guys can stay healthy in this match and not get injured. I do think some of these New Japan guys could be featured a little bit better on AEW television. If Hiromu could get a signature win, just, using his finishing move a couple times, kind of establishing maybe who he is to an audience that might not know anything about him. But Kyle Fletcher, I definitely see retaining the title in this matchup. Then we got Mercedes Moné defending the TBS Championship in a 4-way match against Alex Windsor, Persephone, and Bozilla. So we've got people from all over the world challenging Mercedes Moné in this matchup. 8 belts Moné. She does hold 8 titles currently. I don't see her dropping the TBS title in this matchup, although if something does happen, I could see Alex Windsor picking up a flash pin and a title change, although I don't think Moné losing the TBS title, which I believe she's held for over a year, in a 4-way match like this would be the best decision, although Alex Windsor is a new competitor in AEW, so she could use a title victory to kind of establish herself. Then we got Toni Storm versus Athena. This is for the AEW Women's Championship. Athena won the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal to earn this title shot. I think she could probably win the title here for sure. I think she deserves it. She'd be a double champion then. I think a lot of people thought Mercedes Moné was going to win the title from Toni Storm last month, so I could definitely see Athena winning it here, and this could steal the show, quite honestly. I expect a bloody brawl with some great high spots, so looking forward to this match. Then the final 2 matches on the main card, I'm not quite sure what the main event's going to be, but I feel like if the cage match goes on last, that might tip us off to what's going to happen in the title match between MJF challenging Hangman Page for the AEW World title. If Hangman gets disqualified or counted out, he loses the title. And that's an interesting stipulation. And also MJF not having to put his title shot on the line, his Casino Gauntlet title shot on the line in this match. So he'll still have that even if he loses this match. So I could see playing out that MJF actually gets himself disqualified in the title match, perhaps hitting Hangman Page with a chair or the Dynamite Diamond ring, and then cashing in his title with Hangman Page out and winning the title in a second match after that. Now, I didn't really like the build-up to this match. It was very convoluted. I thought everything involving Mark Briscoe made Mark look really dumb, and it kind of made Hangman look stupid too. I really would have liked to have seen Mark Briscoe going for the title at this pay-per-view in a singles match and hold off the MJF match until All Out, but it is what it is. I think this could be a pretty awesome match. Both these guys are tremendous wrestlers, so I don't think there's anything to worry about there. It's just all the shenanigans that are going to be involved. I'm worried it's going to be a convoluted finish as much as it was in the build-up to this match. But I could see the Hurt Syndicate showing up here and helping MJF and showing that everything happening in the past month was just a big swerve. Finally, we have the cage match, a 10-man tag between Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay versus the Death Riders, which is Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, the Young Bucks, and Gabe Kidd. And there's 2 people who have been injured recently, out on the injured list on each team, Will Ospreay and Gabe Kidd. So you could see the cage stipulation and tag match scenario kind of hiding the limitations of some of the people in this match, but I expect this to honestly be a brawl all over the arena, not just in the cage. It'll probably be all over the place. I'm sure there'll be some giant Darby Allin diving off the balcony spots and things of that nature. I'm sure we'll see Tanahashi perhaps jump off the top of the cage, something like that. Perhaps we'll have a storyline writing off Will Ospreay, because he's going to be out for probably the good portion of the next year, leading into All In next year, where most people expect him to win the title. But I expect Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay to win this match and send the crowd home happy after an MJF screwjob title win. So kind of a hit and miss card, to be honest with you, but I do expect the top 3 or 4 matches to definitely deliver, and I expect some great wrestling throughout the show. You get that in every AEW pay-per-view. I don't expect this to be any exception. So those are my thoughts for AEW Forbidden Door 2025. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. This is a new channel where I cover pro wrestling. Go check out my other channel where I talk about comic books, Kaufman is Live Comics. And I'll see you guys later. Go watch wrestling.